Hey familia, Mikey here from BC WrestlePod. Today's video is going to be a little bit of a personal one for me. I want to talk about how American wrestling companies, mainly WWE and AEW, treat Latino superstars and Lucha Libre as a whole. As a Latino wrestling fan, I've watched with pride and frustration, unfortunately. There's such rich history in Lucha Libre, yet time and time again, American companies miss the mark. Let's talk about it, where it started, where it is, where it went wrong, and how we could potentially fix it moving forward. So, a little brief history of Lucha Libre. Lucha Libre dates back to the early 1900s in Mexico, exploding in popularity with stars like El Santo, Blue Demon, and Mascara. The masks, the high flying acrobatics, the honor based storytelling. It's more than just wrestling, it's a culture, it's legacy, it's identity. Lucha Libre is a sacred tradition passed down through generations, deeply rooted in pride, resilience, and community. However, when translated to the Western world, especially here in the States, it had its ups and downs. So let's go over that really quickly. When Lucha Libre entered the US scene, it gave us electric talents such as the likes as Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero. And in fact, we saw this in the 90s was a showcase of how dynamic Lucha Libre could be. But even then, Latino talent was often underpromoted, misrepresented, or pigeonholed to one specific thing. Fast forward to WWE and AEW today, yes, there have been great moments. Dominic Mysterio finding his character, Penta and Rey Fenix lighting it up in both AEW and WWE, Santos Escobar bringing pride to SmackDown. But that's kind of where it stops. And the question that I always have to ask myself with this is where's the depth? Where's the long term investment in Latino talent and storytelling rooted in lucha tradition? Here's the truth. And again, I might be making some generalizations here, but this is from my experience as a Latino wrestling fan who watches so many different things. Here is my truth that comes with it. Latino talent is often brought in to add flavor because they are the exotic, they do the high flying, they do stuff that normal wrestling doesn't normally do, especially here in the States. They're brought in to add a flavor, but then they get dropped the minute booking gets complicated. We rarely get fully developed feuds, legacy stories, or cultural nuance. WWE books Lucha Libre like a gimmick. AEW brings in Luchadors, especially with their working relationship with companies like CMLL down in Mexico, but rarely gives them promo time or storyline depth. Too often, they're just the cool mask guys or used to pop the crowd in trios matches. Where's the push for a top lucha face on par with people like Roman Reigns or MJF? Where's the Latin main event storytelling that doesn't rely on tired tropes or second generation storylines? I know that's a lot to speak on this. And again, I am a fan of both AEW and WWE, but I feel that these are just my observations when it comes to propelling Latin superstars up the card. And this is just me as a fan watching for the last 10 years that's kind of making these observations. So I am not a booker. I do not work for these companies, but I have a couple of ideas as to how the companies moving forward can help start to not necessarily fix, but to do better for their Latin talent. So here's how I would go about propping up the companies and what I would put in place to make sure that we have equality and diversity as the companies claim to be. First, the companies need to respect the culture. That means hiring writers, producers, and agents who understand Lucha Libre and Latin identity, not just translators or valets to speak English for the talent who only can speak Spanish. We need actual creators who understand Lucha Libre culture and Latin culture as a whole. Second, we need long-term investment. Don't just feature Latino or Latina wrestlers, during Latino Heritage Month, build stars year round, push them, tell stories for them, let them speak in their voice, not just Spanglish caricatures. And a perfect example of this is what happened with Zelina Vega. She became the Women's United States champion, but we didn't get really too much promo time. We didn't get any long-term story efforts because she ended up losing the title about a month and a half later to Julia. And I love Julia. But then again, there's no long-term investment with Latin superstars. And that's the second thing I would just kind of fix. The third thing that I would do, and AEW is kind of doing this relatively well, and WWE hopefully will start doing this well, is partnership with Lucha Libre companies. AEW has a working relationship with CMLL. WWE has the rights, and there's other indie lucha talent out there who aren't tied to these two big Lucha Libre companies in Mexico. The Lucha Libre have equal billing, promote their style with the same reference as strong style or technical wrestling that a lot of Western fans like to use to describe amazing wrestlers. Fourth, and finally, and most importantly to me, is championship visibility. A Latino world champ built right, not just of the box to check, could mean the world to fans like myself who want to see that representation in professional wrestling. Now, I want to be very clear in this whole entire think piece. This isn't about hating on WWE or AEW for that matter. I love wrestling and I love both companies with all my heart and soul. I just want them to be better because when they do Lucha Libre right, it shines. But right now, it's under and misunderstood. Representation matters, not just in the ring, but behind the curtain, in the stories, in the respect shown to the legacy of Lucha Libre and the Latino culture as a whole. But let me know in the comments what you think below. Who are your favorite Latino wrestlers? And what moments made you feel seen as a fan? Like, subscribe, and stay proud. And from all of us here at BC WrestlePod, remember, take care of yourself, love one another. Until the next video, we'll see you for the next one.
Thank you so much for tuning in to another Vibe Tribe production. What's gonna happen next time? Well, you're gonna have to tune in to find out. But until then, remember, take care of yourself, love one another, and as always, make sure that you keep the good times rolling. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you next time.